Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you Game 2 in a series between Idra and Happy. Game 2 taking place on Metalopolis. This, I believe, is the GSL or MLG version of the map. Supply depots down on the ramp, letting you know that you cannot ally spawn here on Metalopolis. Now, Metalopolis, a map generally considered to be Zerg favored in the Terran versus Zerg matchup. A lot of it has to do with the fact that there is a very easy to take third base that is rather far away from your opponent, and that is also on a high ground. So very good for a Zerg player. If they find that their opponent is trying to fast expand, they can easily catch up and surpass their opponent in terms of bases. We are going to see now an Overlord making its way in, and we'll see whether Idra decides to turn around with this Overlord or if he just continues to move along his merry way. It looks like it will turn around after spotting that command center. The Overlord now backing off. There is a supply depot down over here. We'll see what is going to be happening in just a moment, as you can now see that one SCV a little bit spazzing out right there until it can in fact set up a barracks. The Overlord has in fact seen that there is a barracks here. I do not think the Overlord has been spotted. And we'll see what does Happy do. Happy has not scouted out his opponent just quite yet, and now is going to move along his merry way, head up the ramp, and then perhaps get some scouting information at the natural expansion, wanting to prevent any sort of 15 hatch. But it looks like a 15 hatch will go down, as we are also going into an early refinery as well. So standard refinery, a 13 refinery, meaning that there is not going to be any early double marine barracks pressure here. SCV, for some reason, grabbing some minerals first before deciding to head up that ramp. Perhaps he wants to deny those 5 minerals. I've never seen a game where the outcome was depending on 5 minerals stolen from a player, but it could happen at one point. Spawning pool now being placed down. We're going to see the SCV continue to back off, and really Happy has to be wondering what is going on inside Idra's head right now. Idra GG'd rather early in game 1 on Xel'Naga Caverns. In all intents and purposes, he was actually ahead of his opponent in terms of food. He was behind in terms of, excuse me, he was behind in terms of economy with those Hellions inside his base, but that was not something that he could not be able to fight his way back in from. But perhaps he wanted to lose on the first map in order to be able to play this map. This map is a very Zerg favorite map. As I mentioned in the past, you can see the drones are still continuing to chase and do a lot of harassment here. 2 Marines now, better than 1, going to start shutting down these drones. 1 Marine attempting to run away as well, and it looks like another drone will get destroyed. So 2 drones have been destroyed already. A bunker now coming into play as well. There are 2 Marines, and a Queen now perhaps needs to make its way over as those drones are trying to just run away, but the Zergans are going to be able to come in, snipe, go after that very low hit point Marine. Oh, they are trying to back off into a corner. 1 Zergling is dead. Another Marine is dead as well, as the 2 Zerglings able to take down those 2 rather low hit point Marines and just nullify all of this pressure. We are going now into that reactor Hellion opening that we originally saw, and based upon the spawning locations, Happy has to be very happy about his situation, just because he's actually closer. He's closer to his opponent than I think in Xel'Naga Caverns. The Hellions will be coming out in just a moment. There are going to be some SCVs. Is he going to raise the supply depot in time? Yes, he does raise the supply depot in time. And now the Zerglings, realizing that there's an SC or Hellions on the high ground, wanting to back off, but it looks like all of these Zerglings will get destroyed. Some damage is being dealt to these Hellions, but the Hellions going to be able to finish this off with little to no effort at all, as another round of Hellions now being added, and also a bunker being placed down by Happy. Happy wanting to make sure that he's able to counter all of those roaches which may be coming in. It looks like Idra opting to go for spine crawlers, more of a static defense to fend off this next attack, as the Hellions unable to sneak by, getting in a little bit of trouble there. 1 Hellion now down, as 2 more Hellions are still being trained. So that 1 Hellion still wandering around back and forth. The second spine crawler about to be completed. That's some free, easy damage onto that Hellion before the Hellion will be able to get up that ramp. 2 shots, and the Zerglings trying to trap them there. It looks like the Hellions have made it up into the ramp, and now it's just going to be a term of micro if whether or not Happy's going to be able to get off some drone kills. There's 2 drone kills already. The Hellions need to be very careful. The Hellions need to just try to torch even more of those Zerglings. Sorry for the mouse control there, as the Hellion's still wandering around back and forth. Another very low hit point Hellion, and 3 Hellions very low hit point and able to get even more damage in. 5 Hellions now in position. It looks like 3 Hellions now left once again. Another Hellion may get destroyed, but even more drone kills now coming in as those Zerglings are backing off once again. And this is just some beautiful, beautiful Hellion micro by Happy. Happy has done a lot of damage so far. You can take a look at the worker kills. 12 worker kills already. Taking a look at the total losses, though, losses are even neck and neck, but it is going to be the income that makes a very big difference, as we are getting in some additional mules as well. Happy is running off of a 2nd orbital command. We'll be able to train up about 7 to 8 workers a minute. Meanwhile, Idra has to stay up on top of his macro in order to make sure he does not fall behind in this long game. Here we can see that the Hellions are now backing off. The Zerglings are now going to run around and head back home. 6 drones once again being macroed back up, and now I believe yes, it has Idra now taking the lead again. So 34 to 27. The power of Zerg able to train up so many drones at one time in order to get back in this game. So Idra now sitting at 120 or 125 armies, so much smaller army, but he has enough static defense to really make sure that his opponent would have to heavily invest into Hellions or into an army before any damage could really be dealt. We have 1 starport, 1 barracks, 3 barracks, and a factory now. We are getting that siege tech as well, and now also this orbital command looking to establish at the natural expansion, and we'll see whether or not that works for him, and whether he'll be able to fend this off. It doesn't look like there's going to be much happening here. Zerglings trying to get some extra damage onto those Hellions, but those Hellions able to just continue sitting at the Zonaga Tower and looking down the road. Queen of Idra now attempting to establish multiple creep tumors, trying to spread out that purple creep highway, allowing those Zerglings, Roaches, and Hydralisks to commute ever so faster into their opponent's base. And back here, Idra running also off of 3 gas, will soon to be 4, perhaps even 5 or 6. As soon as a layer tech is done, I believe he will be going into, a Spire tech, or perhaps Infestors, as those are 2 very, very strong, viable options for Zerg at the mid game, as we do see a Spire now being added. There is 2 Marines over here. Siege tanks are in position. It looks like supply depots are being added across, and they want to make a very long wall. This supply depot going to get destroyed as well, wanting to make sure that this supply depot doesn't get in the way of any sort of blocking. There are a couple of Marines over here. 1 Zergling just going splat rather easily, and the siege tanks are now moving out of position, or out in order to get into a better position. Once again, that is a lot of siege tanks and a lot of Marines that will be knocking on this front door. Are there enough Banelings is the key question. A lot of units in production, a lot of Zerglings in production, and I don't see... Oh, the Baneling's nest is right over here along with that Spire. So the natural expansion currently holding all the tech, as we now see Marines pushing their way forward. And what will happen with those Marines? Those Marines just getting absolutely impaled. Siege tanks perhaps will siege up. No, not going to siege at all. In siege mode, they do less damage per second, as the siege tanks now finally have superior range, able to just constantly blast and shell units as they're trying to come in. Siege tanks are now in a very little bit of a pickle, as those Banelings may be able to completely melt them away. Drones now trying to come in to engage, but no, the siege tank survives at 14 hit points and is now able to fend off this attack even further. You can see 1 siege tank still up on that high ground. The Queen cannot come over to slash it, as the medevac is right there. Zergling gonna finish it off, and now these Marines will get destroyed and pretty much getting cleaned up. No, gonna do a hot pickup by Happy, and the medevac, the MVP of the minute, able to save 6 of those Marines. Another command center now also being established by Happy as well. You can see a very nice front door by Happy, making sure that Zerglings are not able to really run by. That's really what you have to worry about whenever you leave from home. And when you leave from home, your army is, or your base is pretty much just pretty much exposed. In comes what, Marines now trying to push in, but it looks like the Zergans will be able to finish it off, and even the Queen joining in on the destruction as the medevac now being forced to pull back. The command center about 2/3 of the way completed now. It looks like it will be another, 75% completed, and perhaps establish this high ground expansion here. And we are also seeing another command center being built. So Happy may be trying to double expand and also taking the middle ground as well. That would be a very dangerous proposition, as the Zelnago towers are currently held by Idra. Zergling's going to run all the way around the map, perhaps get some scouting information here, sees that there is an orbital command, and then back off. They really don't want to engage. Meanwhile, you can see 3 siege tanks, Marines. Those Marines have to be very, very careful. Is there enough Banelings from his opponent? And it doesn't look like there is. Banelings, however, are rather easy to produce. Just convert a Zergling into a Baneling, and there you have it. You can see now Zergling is able to squeeze by and now fighting into the main mineral line here. It looks like those SCVs taking a little bit of damage, but those Zerglings taking the majority of it, as scanner sweeps now cleaning up the rest of these creep tumors here. This expansion here at the 9 o'clock expansion location on the low ground will most likely get canceled by Idra. Very happy that he did find this one hatchery, or he will find this one hatchery. I spoke too soon once again. So Mutalisk now coming in from the top. It looks like the Mutalists are just going to be able to shut down so many of these siege tanks. Zerglings, Queens, this one siege tank is dangerously low on hit points. What is going to happen? It looks like the Queen will get destroyed as well, but Idra, with a large number of Mutalists coming in at just the right time, wrestles away map control, and now things will be a completely different story for Empire Happy, as Happy is pretty much on the ropes right now. He does have another orbital command already completed to him, but he only has 49 SCVs compared to 66, 17 difference. Look at the upgrades, look at the macro, and Happy is just in a very dominant situation, as Idra in a very dominant position over Happy, as Happy doesn't even upgrade this to a planetary fortress. Mutalisk now pushing in over here, just a nice swarm, able to shut down one barracks. The Marines are unable to get into position. It looks like the Marines are trying to get in and able to shoot down one of those Mutalisks. This one barracks, though, down to 16 hit points. Will it be able to get repaired in time is the key question. And yes, ever a second so close, able to get it destroyed, as now we see these Mutalisks looking for a little bit more blood. There is only one missile turret here, so this one missile turret could easily get destroyed. Not quite sure why it wasn't destroyed, as an SCV now being brought over to try to and repair it, make sure it doesn't burn down. We are going now into a lot of Banelings. It is going to be level 2 weapons upgrade, level 2 melee upgrades as well, which also benefits those Banelings. And yeah, those Banelings are just going to be able to deal so much damage. I believe they're already at 38 damage per, or 39 damage per attack. It goes up to 43, I believe, or 43 or 44, and then yeah, so much damage to be had. Banelings able to be Baneling dropped into a mineral line and have them just absolutely destroyed. As you can now see, those Mutalisks are deciding to back away. They do not want to engage at all. Another hatchery being placed down by Idra. So Idra now probably somewhere in the 80 realm of workers. About more than half of his workers are his food army is currently workers, and he's just going to continue to sit on that and bank it until he really, really needs. Yeah, he's going to sit on it and bank it until he. Unless he really needs some additional army, but he'll be able to dump rather easily, as you can now see 198 over 200 compared to 120 over 156. Factories are being added, armories are being added as well. A nice sensor tower also being thrown down here, at least an early warning system for Happy, as Happy doesn't want to get caught out of position at all. A refinery, also double refineries coming down at the natural, or at this third base, as well as the Mutalisks with now 2-0 upgrades look to the skies and see what they can destroy. There is a lot of missile turrets here, though. 9 missile turrets, 10, 12 missile turrets already, as the Mutalisks are simply going to try to swarm in, unable to do so. The Infestor is on the low ground, and are the Infestors going to be able to perhaps bait those Marines? Is a key question. The Mutalisk now trying to come down over here. The Mutalisk being baited off, and what is going to happen? Oh, there's the fungal growth. That is so much damage. Another fungal growth. And wow, so many Marines destroyed right there. That was a very heavy loss. You're wondering what happened there. That was the power of the Zerg and the new fungal growth that immobilizes your opponent. 4 Infestors, a lot of Mutalisks, and Zerglings with Banelings as support, as we now see Idra taking the 6 o'clock expansion down over here, getting a little greedy and taking an expansion that doesn't really belong to him just quite yet. We are seeing some Infestors now make their way out once again. Will they be able to catch some more of those Marines without the Infestors nearby to hit them, or with the Infestors nearby to hit them with a fungal growth? That is the key question there, as the Mutalisks, a large swarm of Mutalisks now simply just trying to push in. And it looks as though this barracks will get burned down in just a moment. Already down to 280 hit points. And SCV is desperately trying to repair it. But that barracks just getting destroyed, causing a little bit of issues for Happy so far. We are also going into the Greater Spire and also some Corruptors. So we are definitely going to see some Broodlords out in just a moment. Also getting the level 1 melee attack onto those Broodlings as well, so those Broodlings will be able to deal even more damage, as we see a large group of Mutalisks hiding off over here. Level 3 weapons upgrade now being researched before we even have one single Broodlord. Zerglings attempting to take down a bunker, but the bunker is just too well reinforced, as Happy has a command center here, and he's not quite sure what to do with it. He's sitting at 196 over 199. Meanwhile, Idra sitting at 200 over 200 and still training up even more units. So he has the ability to train up more units than I'm not gonna try to say it. I'm Happy now sitting at 195 over 183. It looks as though a couple supply depots were just destroyed, and now Idra going to move in for the kill. This is a rather large army. Siege tanks going to destroy this front door with little to no effort whatsoever, but Broodlords are coming. The Broodlords now coming in, and they are dealing a lot of damage. Elevator drop onto the high ground as well. The Marines unable to get close enough to this engagement here, as the Marines are just continuing to fight Mutalisks both on the high ground and the low ground. This is a really bad flank for Idra, but Idra has the larger army and more food as well. He will be able to fend off this attack. Oh no, a quick neural parasite, and Idra able to take control of those, and Empire Happy says GG. So yes, Happy losing game 2 in this best of 3 series. Stay tuned for game 3.